That's right. Did you say bees or insects? You're exactly right, boys and girls. This week in science, we're going to talk about something called pollination. And we're going to talk about pollinators, the ones that go around and pollinate the plants and the flowers. So, the first thing that you'll see right here is my bee. See my bee here? Yes, it's a beautiful illustration. It has labels of what is the name of its body parts. A bee is an insect. So this week we're going to talk about different pollinators, which are insects. And insects have pretty much the same things. They have a head, a thorax, an abdomen. Some have wings. They have 6 legs, 2 antennae, and they have compound eyes. That's right. So let's think about the bee. Miss Miranda had some stories about bees. When you think about a bee, what do you think about? Where are they? Are they inside or outside? Are some of you maybe scared of a bee? Well, bees, boys and girls, are very, very important. Very important because in our flowers, there's this little tiny dust. It's called pollen. And what the bees do is they carry it from flower to flower, which helps them to grow. And they also bring some back to their home, which is their hive. And take a look at this shape, boys and girls. What shape do you see? Yes, a hexagon. Did you know every cell inside of a beehive or a colony is a hexagon shape? That's right, hexagon shape. Today, Miss Miranda is going to talk to you a little bit about honey and the beekeepers. Honeybees are the bees that make honey. There's all different types of bees, boys and girls, but today we're going to talk about the honeybee. The honeybee are the bees that make the honey. Bees use the nectar that they drink from inside of the flowers to make their honey. Bees build something in their hive called a honeycomb. So all of these little cells put together makes a comb. That's right. The honeycomb has hundreds of hexagon-shaped rooms where the honeybees put the nectar. The tiny honeycombs are made of something really cool, and it's called wax. Can you say that? Wax, yes. The wax and the nectar together, boys and girls, make the honey. Do you have honey at your house? Some honey that you see is runny like this. Sometimes you will see the honeycomb inside of the honey. The bees eat some of the honey, but there's special people called beekeepers. They wear a fancy hat that comes down. They work with bees, and sometimes they're called honey farmers. They build hives and they collect the honey that the bees make. They wear their protective clothing and their net to cover their face and their neck. Beekeepers, boys and girls, love bees so very much. They want to make sure that their hives are healthy, and they want to protect their hives from bug spray called pesticide. And a beekeeper's house of bees is called an apiary. Can you say that word? Apiary. And they look like maybe white boxes stacked on top of each other. An apiary is a place where the beekeeper keeps his group of beehives. And another cool fact about honey, boys and girls, honey flavor comes from the type of flower that the bees ate. Isn't that cool? So whatever type of flower bees are eating, wherever their hive is near, that's the flowers that they'll be eating, and the honey will taste like that flower. And do you know something else? Another cool fact. Wax that comes from bees is used to make crayons and candles. That's right. Aren't bees important, boys and girls? Yes, they are. They're so important that it's your job to help the bees be safe. Yes, What can you do to help the very most important pollinator that we have? You can plant a garden for him. You can not use pesticides in your yard. And you can tell people all of the cool facts that you've learned about bees. That's right. So your job today, boys and girls, is to illustrate and write about what Miss Miranda showed you today. We talked about wax. We talked about the honeycomb, what shape it is, hexagon. We talked about the honeybee and the parts of the bee. We talked a little bit about beekeepers. So you have a paper to illustrate and draw and to write about. You also have an activity, and in your science bag, Miss Miranda put some little honeycombs. Your job is going to take those little honeycomb cereals that you have, and the directions are in your science folder, and make your very own honeycomb. Can you be a beekeeper one day? Yes. Can you have your own apiary? Absolutely you can. So do your best to protect the bees, and I'll see you next time.